I hear you're in the market for a new washing machine because I can hear
Oh,
it running in the background.
yeah. Well, or I just got to get handier and fix the dang thing. So,
Exactly. You get your little metal tools out, figure out what it is. Although it sounds like it might be something electronic.
yeah, I think it's a sensor. One of those things hidden underneath it, and yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we're
uh,
not sophisticated enough to have our own recording studios. We're doing it in our basement, or in my case, on the dining room table.
yep, yep.
You know what's exciting?
No, I don't.
More exciting than your not dishwasher. What is it? It's a washing machine.
Washing machine.
More exciting than that is, as of the last podcast, we have had a download from every continent except Antarctica now. South America
Ooh.
was our remaining holdout, and we had to download in Quito. So we are completely global now.
Wow! Congratulations, sir. Also, congratulations on 2 full seasons. This is season 3, episode 1 of Brothers in Smithing. So,
Starting season 3, that kind of blows my mind. Like, because when we started this was very much, it's just we'll record a couple episodes, see how it goes, and whatever. And here we are, still
yeah,
going. You know,
it's still
this
fun.
is
It's still fun.
it. I
I
still
had
enjoy
you.
it.
I had you in stitches in the last one too. So,
You did. You kept talking about the hammer peens and telling us this peen is something. yeah, yeah.
yeah.
There's nothing like potty humor. It's great.
What's your libation of choice tonight, sir?
A leftover steam whistle, although not a leftover from the challenge. But I had a friend over last night, and we were playing board games and drinking a couple beverages, and there was a steam whistle left over. So, um,
Nice, nice. I myself have a black light all night stout from Nickelbrook Brewing, which is just down the road. So, and this is a leftover from the challenge. So,
how many beer cans did you end up using? Out of curiosity.
I used the 6 full beer cans, um, and I wasted 3. So, like
Okay,
in trying to figure out how to do it all, I wasted 3, um,
but
and
your
then
actual
kind of
build
got a.
took all six, eh?
But my full build took most of 6. I think I have like a 2 inch by whatever the length of the thing is that I have left. Yeah.
Oh wow! And for those of you who are just dropping in, so the challenge that we're talking about is this month's challenge. We had to make a candle holder
Holder.
display thing
Yeah.
made out of recycled aluminum that came from 6 tall boy aluminum cans. And yeah, I didn't actually use my full 6. I think I ended up using 4.
Mm.
So now that, again, not including the 2 that I, were experimental and we're trying things out. But yeah. So I actually last night we drank the leftovers from that.
There you go. Do you want to talk about yours first? Do you want me to chat about mine?
I'm what were the challenges that you had? Because this is a material that,
Right.
yes, we've both used aluminum a little bit. We haven't used like flimsy beer can aluminum. So what are the challenges that you like, even before we get into what you built? Like, what was
Yeah,
hard?
yeah. Well, like just that is that the actual substance of the can was way thinner than I ever thought it was. It actually felt like foil, like just like almost like a I equated it to like heavy aluminum foil that like cooking you would use. My dad
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
that stuff. That's what it felt like. Um, so trying to get any substance of it was challenging for myself and trying to get it to stand up and do the thing. So
Yeah, it was such a light material. And the thing, I don't know if you did this. So because it comes in a cylinder shape, So how do you flatten it? Well, one of the ways you can do it is by heating it up, and releasing all the stress from the metal, and it will, flatten if you've weighted it down and whatnot. First one burned right through it in like a
Yeah,
split second.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, can't do that. Uh,
I
so
I tried to get the label off of one of them, and I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just heat it, and the the plastics or whatever will melt, and I'll be able to scrape it off. Right? That's how I'll get it clear aluminum. Um, and it literally, again, as you said, like it was like, okay, oh, there's a puff and there's a hole. You're like, hokey
yeah,
smokies,
just
that
like,
was
oh, okay,
quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was really challenging. The other thing that I didn't expect to find so challenging was cutting the can open. Like, don't get me wrong, it's easy to cut the can open. It was much
Mm,
harder to cut the can without like just foobarring the whole bit of
yeah.
metal, it tearing, ripping. I ended up using a box cutter
Yep.
actually.
Yep.
Easiest way to do it and cleanest cut, but again, was not expected. I'm like, oh well, I can use a hacksaw, but of course, then the pressure to hold it into a grip like crushing a can. I tried to use my regular metal snips, and it actually like would tear it almost like tissue paper, opposed to being a nice clean cut.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I used regular. I found myself, instead of using, again, the tin snips or whatever, I was using regular kitchen scissors. Like,
yeah.
um,
When I was doing that
because it
too.
cut it way cleaner than any of the tin snips and stuff definitely would.
Yeah,
So
it was crazy. It was just so weird to work with.
yeah.
Oh, all right. So what'd you make?
Well, I took the trying to get the substance to hold a candle. Really, the substance is in the concave
Yeah, the
concave on the
base. It's a
bottom.
bit
Yeah.
thicker. Same thing. My actual candle holder was the base because it's the only thing that had the strength to do anything.
Yeah. So then I was like, well, that I wanted to rivet things to the side of the can. So I took two bases, flipped them upside down, and nested them into each other, creating like about
Okay.
a 2-inch can of bottoms, if that makes sense. Um,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's actually quite, it's quite rigid, like the can actually is and stuff. And then I took the remaining bits of the side of the can and cut them into long strips, and then made them look like grass. I took basically a pencil on a piece of paper and like fullered down the center of them to give them
Yeah.
the because otherwise they were so flimsy and loose.
Oh,
So that fuller in them.
you pick a sharp tool to do that, and you just poke a hole in it. Like you needed something blunt, like a pencil. Yeah. No, makes
Yeah,
sense.
100% was just a pencil. So then uh, after I did that, I needed to affix them to the side of the thing. So I chose a rivet, as in a pop rivet. Those ones that have the little piece that sticks out, and then you like
Yeah.
squeeze, and it goes pop. I know them as pop rivets. I don't know what they're actually
That's
called.
what I know them as well. Yeah, pop rivets.
Um, Such a pain, mainly for I took three of these twin bases, riveted them together, and stuck them all together. But the walls are so thin that you had to be really careful with the pop rivets, because in the rivet expanding inside would actually blow out the wall of
I was
the
gonna say,
of the
yeah,
can.
did they just not rip through?
You had to be really careful. You had to be really careful in the size of the hole and and the angle and all of those things. It was a
So
pain.
you pre-punched your holes and then put the rivet
Oh
in? I
yeah,
take it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But that had to be the right size. So
Crazy.
anyway,
But you got them riveted on.
I got them all riveted on. And I think it looks cool without the candles on. I think with the candles on, it's extra cool, because the candles are really pretty much nestled in the grass. I say grass; they're actually kind of meant to be a marsh, because I ended up putting a duck flying up in the middle of it too. So I again cut the duck out, and then used a pencil and did your. I guess it's when you go from both sides and keep going back and forth. It's repoussé, I guess, or
I
chasing,
don't
or
know if you call that chasing or repoussé, or if it's another term with just like your indenting or embossing.
embossing.
Embossing
Yeah, let's go
could
with
be
embossing.
embossing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, but yeah, and so you get the silhouette of the duck exploding out of the marsh and then the marsh grass and stuff. And it actually does remind me of duck hunting in like the early morning. And you just see silhouettes and stuff like that in the marsh. So yeah,
It does. It looks really cool. That grass really has a nice little effect. I haven't seen any images with the candles lit behind it. I haven't seen. You haven't posted that video yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But
it is out. I did it just before we came on here. There's a reel on Deer Run Forge. If you want to go check it
oh,
out.
okay, sweet. Make sure it's up on Brothers Smithing as well, and then I'll even flip it over to TikTok for you.
There you go. There you go.
But
What did you build? How'd yours go?
sorry, just jumping back, your little reel that you made of the I hate riveting with
Yeah.
the somebody responded, well, it's just because you have a terrible rivet gun.
Well, yes. I didn't buy the most awesome rivet
What? It's not your
gun.
top end?
Yeah, yeah. Was not the
No.
top end riveting. I also had to buy extra rivets for it, like the pop rivets for it, and didn't know what size, so I ended up buying a couple different. And they're not cheap. And anyway,
No.
but I do have another way of attaching metals to each other, so that's kind of fun.
It's good to have the poppers. They're okay. I use them once in a blue moon because there's a few times that like a steel or tinner's rivet, you can't back it properly to get the pressure. So you rivet on. So you need to use the pop rivets, but I
Well, that's just it.
don't
Through the can, there's no way you could get through the back of it, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah. No. No. So I have one, but I've used it like two, maybe three times. I go old school. Figure out how to back it.
yeah.
So well, that's cool. So are you happy with it? Are you
I'm happy with it. It doesn't. My problem was looking at it was how do you keep the structure and not make it look like a beer can? You know what I mean?
yes.
Like that was another part of this whole thing was like I don't want you to look at it and think, "Oh, there's the can tab and there's the top and, whatever." I don't, there cuz there is some structure at the top of it as well, but that to hide that structure is way harder. Um and even I guess if you look at the bases, it's still the same circle, like
Yep.
that can's shape and size at the base of it does have a certain look and feel. And if you look at the base of it, you can recognize that shape. So, but I'm happy with it. It's cute. I think I would, I think the ultimate thing for me is I would keep it in my house, and my family will allow me to keep it in my house. So that's a check mark on my side.
There you go. See, I was thinking not that it would look great in your house, but I've been up to your hunt camp
Yeah,
and that would look really nice up there. It's got the right kind of decor for hunt camps and whatnot. So, but it looks great. Like I think like it really makes it pop with that that coming out of it. I think that really sold the whole piece for you, and it's a
yeah.
really nice job embossing or chasing out that pattern. So good job. I like it.
What about yours, man? Yours is so I was trying to keep my can clean. So the Nickelbrook actually has the plastic coating on the outside of the can that you can peel off, and then you just left with a bare can. And I didn't even the first couple of them I tried to steel wool all the plasticky bits off and stuff. I was like, nah, no, 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 I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Stop messing with it, and
Yeah.
you know,
So did you end up like were you able to peel it off easily to get the
yeah,
labels
yeah,
out? Yeah, okay, that's what I figured.
yeah,
I don't know. It's been a while since I've tried to peel again because I went the other way.
yeah.
But actually, to back up a step, I ended up having to go for Plan B. So my Plan A, I was sitting, as I think I've mentioned on here that so I've gone back to supply teaching, and I supply teach high school, so I'm kind of a glorified babysitter. So I've got a lot of time to sit there and going, "Ooh, what am I going to do with this month's challenge?" And I was sitting there, and I don't know why. Actually, you know why? I think it popped into my head. My eldest just did their science fair, and I remember when I was in grade four, my fair project was how heat coming off of a candle or something could turn like a paper mobile. Just as heat's rising and it pushes it around. So I'm like, hey, this is really flimsy stuff. wouldn't it be cool if I could set up like a funky little windmill or something, and use the heat from the candle going up, and it would make some motion. So I was really excited about this because I planned it all in my head. Took a piece, cut it all up, made an axle, did all these little things, put my tea light under it. Nope, no movement. So I'm like, so
Wouldn't
I got
go,
a
eh?
votive. No, no, it wouldn't go at all. I tried a votive candle. I tried a bigger candle. I actually, I took a piece of copper pipe and used it as a chimney, like right above the flame, so it would like concentrate the heat. No,
Huh.
wouldn't move. I'm like, mm.
By the
So
time
then
you
I
got a
was,
big enough fan with the foil, it was too heavy to push it, eh?
I'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think part of it, like because of course I was cutting out a circular piece, and if it was maybe a perfect circle and perfectly balanced, it might have turned a little bit better. But then, of
Yeah.
course, if you're just off a little bit, that side wants to swing to the bottom. And yeah, I even tried like hitting one side and getting it to start spinning, and then hopefully we can. No,
Hmm.
it was a bust, and I was very sad. So now I'm sitting there depressed. I'm like, "Ugh, now what am I going to do?" And as we've talked about, I was struggling with all of the weaknesses of this material. Like it's flimsy, it tears, I burn through it, blah, 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 blah. So I tried thinking about it from the reverse. Like, what is the strengths of aluminum can?
Yeah.
And so what is the strength of aluminum can?
As I said,
like,
it's the
like,
bottom, man. It's the
yeah, you've got
convex.
a
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
bottom. And the other thing is some of the cans don't have a plastic covering to give the pattern, but they actually have colored the metal. Um, and so I'm like, well, I have color. I can do fun things with color. So then I went out and I went beer shopping based on the color and the amounts of like blank color
Huh.
without a logo on the can. This is how I shopped for beer. It was interesting.
Did you
So
get anything crazy or?
I did. I found one because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it. I found this um, grapefruit sour with I can't remember what else was in it, and the can was like purple. I'm like, oh, sweet. And then I found this really nice blonde, which was very yellow with a very small logo, so lots of yellow. Found a couple red ales that were mostly red. So I found some good colors, and I decided to go for making a fall tree. So where all the leaves are starting to change colors from reds and yellows, and then I actually kept some of the leaves silver, just because I have a nice contrast and it will reflect a bit of the light. So that was my plan. So I took uh, I took some aluminum and I wanted a trunk and I wanted to darken the trunk up a little bit. So I had to figure out how to do that without burning through it. And I ended up actually taking flux, which you use for soldering, and like liberally pouring it on there and then burning it off, and it darkened the metal a little bit and added a kind of funky brownish patina. So I could use that for the tree trunk.
Interesting.
And then I cut out using my my disc cutter a whole bunch of little leaf shapes. And I don't know if you watched the little video that I had made where I showed I had to make a couple little tools.
Yep.
So I took some aluminum, just small piece of aluminum wire that I make all the aluminum trees with, and I crazy glued it to a piece of galvanized steel in a vein pattern, and then I would lay a little leaf on there, put some leather on top of it as a support, and then smack it with a hammer.
It
Uh,
was just it was
and
just
then I
crazy glue.
discovered, oh yeah, crazy glued them on. It was great. It's like it doesn't have to last forever. But I discovered that if you do that, and all those wires are also aluminum, and eventually all the wires
Oh,
flatten, and
yeah.
you start to. So then I found some like just steel, like black steel wire, and crazy glued it on, and it worked beautifully. It really quickly added enough of a texture to give your leaf shape. And then I crazy glued all the leaves on, and they're all glued on. There's no rivets.
So hang on. If your candle is going and the crazy glue heats up enough, It's just gonna be like fall, and the leaves are just gonna like tink, tink, tink.
Well,
That's
there you
part of
go. Now
the
it's got some
design.
movement to it too. It hasn't yet though, and I've had it going for a little bit, so I'm not too concerned by that. But I couldn't imagine trying to glue each, sorry, rivet each little
No,
leaf. Like there was just no way.
no.
So the other thing the other problem I ran into, and I made a tool for this too. This is my let's make tools for this project. The aluminum is so flimsy that like so I cut out the shape of a tree and I darkened the trunk to give that, but it's pretty flimsy, so it needs to be supported. So I took that square stock that I borrowed from you that I don't know what is it like. It's not even it's eight 1/8 inch square, something like that.
Yep, yep.
And I cut off a chunk of it that was maybe, I don't know, 6 inches, and I ground down one half of it into a triangle. And then I could take a strip of the aluminum and bend it over into a triangle shape. And so that gave me the support that's going up behind the tree. And that piece is riveted on with real rivets, no pop rivets. I don't do pop rivets, but yeah, so it
Interesting.
was interesting, but it turned out really well. It reflects some nice light because when I was attaching the leaves, I just glued on some strips of aluminum that stuck out at odd angles, and so it makes the tree part more 3D.
Oh, okay. So that's the leaves are glued onto a strip behind that's glued onto the tree.
Some are right onto the tree, some are glued on strips, just to give it like some volume, some bulk in that. So
Well, it definitely looks like it has some like bushiness to it. However you want to.
ex- exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I got to the end of it. I'm like, hey, I like that. It looks good.
Cool.
So
Cool.
am I going to make another one? No, no.
Actually, because I was looking up aluminum stuff, there was some, and I meant to find it and share it to you, but you know how you go back and you try to find a reel and it's too far gone? Someone was taking cans and again using a die cutter like yours, but it almost looked like a one for cardstock, and they'd punch flowers out of it, and then they'd they used a pencil and I think at the back of a pencil, and they curled the leaves and put veining in it, and then just curled wires around and put them in this little bouquet. And I was like, oh, like that was, I'm like, why would I do that? And why do I need a bunch of little, because I make little flowers out of washers,
Yeah.
but they're nigh indestructible once they're together. I'm like, these would be squishable. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like even the two things that we just made, bringing it to a market, like packing it up so it doesn't get
Yeah.
would be a
Yep.
challenge.
Well, actually, if you remember, we did the gnome, or I did a gnome chess set, and you were doing your
Yes.
flowers, and as part of that, you were goating me on and did your whole like gnomes suck with all your flowers and stuff. So I made a flower out of an aluminum can, and then took one of my gnomes and just squished it.
Grudge.
Um, so that was kind of some of this like, you know, I guess. I remember I did that and my daughter almost cried. She was so distraught. She's like, "That's a really cool flower," and yeah,
uh, See, I had envisioned. You've seen the original Twisters movie, right?
yeah,
So I don't know if you remember the end scene.
yeah,
They're trying to get those little balls up in there, and they get pop cans, and everybody's hands are covered in
cut,
cuts to
yep.
make these little wings. This is what I was envisioning at the end of this challenge. Did you cut yourself?
I did not cut myself on a can. I cut myself while
I love it.
carving. I
There's a
cut myself while
caveat.
carving with my kids. Um, we were making maple syrup the last part of the season, all sitting there on the back of the tailgate carving, and I'm kind of watching them and making sure that they're not doing anything stupid, which was like really funny because I'm using the back of the knife and then I just round it over and right into my finger, and
Yeah.
yep, I got myself pretty good. But no, I didn't cut myself on a can at all. Surprisingly, I don't
No,
even
me
think I
neither.
got
Knock
like
on
a
wood.
sliver or anything. Yeah. So
I got a little mini um one of those like invisible
yeah,
slivers that you can't see, but if you touch your finger the wrong way, it hurts. I'm like,
you got to use a
I got
sharp
one of
knife and
those.
drag it on it, and
Yeah,
yeah,
you get to it eventually, but and then you think
I
you have
was
it
sur-
out, and then you work for another 5 minutes, and you hit it again. You're like, I thought that was gone.
I was surprised that you didn't do any casting with like a can because the thing is the last two challenges you had cast stuff and your 3D printer and casting and stuff, and I was like, oh, aluminum cans, 6 aluminum cans, and then we were talking and doing some math, and actually was surprised at the amount of material in a tall boy aluminum can. Um,
Absolutely. And had we had that discussion before I started everything, I might have. I didn't think there was enough material in there to bother caching anything
yeah,
with it. I didn't think I'd get enough out of 6 cans. Originally, you only wanted to have 3 cans to begin with.
yeah, yeah.
So no casting. But I believe you were mentioning that you have kept all your scraps.
I did, but again, I was thinking that unless maybe I wanted to make something, I could see myself if this was something I had more time towards. I could see myself in casting sand making the cattail heads. I did try to make some cattail heads and round up some stuff and then glued a piece on top of it, but you can't really see them because they're the same color and same consistency and same height as all the other stuff. But I could see if I had more time to lay out a design of that, melt the aluminum in the forge and then drip it in and then have the cattail head and put those on. So
Well,
that would be the
there
addition. Yeah.
is some brown cans. I did find some brown cans that had a little bit of brown that you could do
Ooh.
that for your cattails. So if you wanted to
They're,
get into the color stuff.
they're in there. They're just like super hard to see. I don't. I have a hard time finding the dang things. There's one. Here's one right there.
I can see yours being difficult to light. I'm looking at because you didn't just put the grass at the front of the candles, you put it all the way around
No,
the
I put
back.
it all the way around. Actually, it's hard to get the candles in. You gotta
Yeah,
like
gotta
part the
push through the
grass.
grass.
Yeah.
Dr. Livingston, I presume, sort of.
Hmm. So, we're gonna post this just before Earth Day on April 21st. It'll be on our Instagram stories and in the post. So you can comment in the post or go to the stories and click the button and vote for it. We do this just to challenge each other. I definitely would not have made something out of beer cans if we weren't doing this. It
No,
was
no,
kind
it
of
was
too
not
much of a
something I would have
pain.
done. Not
So
sure I'll do it again unless we, work into another challenge.
yeah, yeah, probably not. Although the I don't know the flowers, I'm kind of like Anyway, yeah, it'll be posted there, and check that out and vote for your favorite because it doesn't matter who you vote for.
Matters
It's
that
one
you
of those
vote.
things. Yeah, exactly.
We just want you to vote. Going back to the flowers, I think the problem is you're going to need to get a little cutter to punch out because hand cutting each of those
Yeah,
flowers with how much it tears in that it would be really frustrating.
but I do wonder if a paper cutter, like the ones that are meant to cut
Oh yeah,
cardstock, would cut the can
yeah,
foil because
I
then I
think
don't
they
have
would.
to and get your fancy cutter that's much more expensive. You can just buy the paper ones that are $10, $15. So I might invest in one of those, but I don't know what I'm going to do with the flowers. But I do like making those hummingbirds, so
Yeah,
giving them a place to live and a bunch of flowers could be cool. Don't know.
yeah, it would be things to think about.
Yep.
But yes, sorry, going back because I was jumping back and forth, thinking about flowers. Do vote. It will be on our Instagram, Brothers and Smithing. It will be actually on TikTok as well.
Ooh.
Um, I know
Yes.
it's crazy.
Yes. The talks of ticks.
The talks of ticks, you know, and your videos are now that I'm posting your videos up there for you.
Yeah.
Even you're on TikTok now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Um. So yeah, where does that leave us? Oh, season 3. My question is, uh, it's not a great Andrews asked question, but it is kind of new season, looking forward to a new season and stuff. Out of the challenges that we have upcoming, is there any that you're like can't wait to get to? You know how you kind of have one that you're like,
Oh,
ooh.
well, you're gonna have to give me a second to take a look at the list.
Okay, well you look at the list. I will tell you
Yes, you tell
where
me
I'm
when
at.
you with and I'll also take a. I'm not sure I want to do that either.
Yeah, I'm apprehensive about the boat race, although it feels very quintessential Brothers in Smithing. So like I'm excited because that's where our relationship kind of like blossomed and just
Started,
started.
absolutely.
But also trying to build a boat out of metal kind of scares the crap out of me.
Yeah,
I would say the June one, and doing something pride related. It's something that is I want to do well, and I want it to, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. So that's one that I'm kind of uh, looking forward to, but also most. Uh,
yeah. I can see the apprehensive. Yet again, you want to do something that looks good, that hits the mark right. It doesn't. Yeah, it'd be easy to miss the mark, maybe, or yeah,
yeah.
I can see that. I don't know, like because I'm looking at, I'm like the Beetlejuice pop culture reference is going to be tough. I think.
You think so? I think it'll
I
be
think
fun.
fun, but it's a matter of like with all of our pop culture references. We did a Star Wars. We did um, what was the other one we did?
We did Monopoly. We did Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, we did Grinch.
We
Yeah,
did The
yeah.
Grinch. Yeah.
It's been not too hard. Like I knew going into it what object from that I wanted to do. Um, I can't right now. I haven't really figured it out. Like I'm kind of
Mm.
leaning towards sandworms, but I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a bit nervous about that. Um, yeah, and again the boat race, but just again because it's going to be a big one for us. I think.
Yeah.
I want to do well. I really want to do well on that one. So yeah,
Will the actual boat race count in the tally of winning the boat race challenge?
it depends. Are you going to have a boat that floats?
If I don't, doesn't that mean that I forfeit the challenge?
Oh, well, okay. Are we're
That's got
putting
to
some
be in
more
the.
rules up there?
It's got
Okay,
to.
if your
It
boat
doesn't
will
have to.
not float,
It has
it
to
doesn't have
float
to
at
make it to
least
the
in.
end, but it has to float for a
Yeah, yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm concerned about, right? I'm like, yeah, I can see myself making a boat that floats, but as soon as it turns or like, it's gonna, you know.
Okay. Well, I think we could put like some half points in for winning boat races with it. We have to decide what is the body of water we're racing. Are we going down Brawny Creek? Are we going to go find somewhere new?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a big one. So yeah, I think those are. I think I'm most excited about the boat race. Um, I'm probably most nervous about the Beetlejuice at this stage. So,
Which has could change because that's not until
oh,
October, but yeah.
it's exactly. We have a couple that are. I was actually just looking at our next one, which is our next month, which is a soap dish with a fish or fishing theme. Yeah, I'm like, you know what my first idea was?
Nope.
But I decided that no one's going to really want one of these, so I probably won't do it. Do you remember we went camping many years ago at a Wenda Provincial Park, and there was a soapstone carving, a little thing that we went and we
Yeah.
got some soapstone, and I carved a fish skeleton.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like that would be perfect if you said like a flat fish skeleton that was dished, so it drips through. But I'm like, do people want to put their soap on a dead fish?
Maybe it would be. I mean, there's those macabre people out there that have like skulls and stuff through at their thing. So I don't know.
There
I was
are.
thinking you have a distinct advantage in. I was pointed out to me, and I was like, "What advantage does he have in the next one?" And my wife pointed out that I work in steel, which rusts like nobody's business, and I was like, "Ooh, oh, I never thought of that."
Yeah,
Because
mine patinas, but
yeah,
but it kind of looks cool as a patina as opposed to
rusty
generally.
rust. Yeah, you don't
You know.
generally want a rusty soap dish, you know.
So what are you gonna? Are you gonna have to switch to my materials? Oh,
Or
I know. Get more beer cans.
get more. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's it. That's or alternatively, potentially enamel. That's something that I've dabbled in that I have not fully conquered yet. So I was like, that might be cool too. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm good enough at enameling to fully protect the surface. Probably not, but that would be something that I might play with just to see if I can get some color and some protection in it because it could be cool.
That could be. I actually do have some ideas for that. So yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. So I'm actually feeling not confident, but excited about the fishing theme.
Good.
So yeah, what are we talking about now? I don't know. I've lost the thread of what we're doing. I have no
I,
idea.
I've already asked the
You
question.
think
We've
by
talked.
season three we would kind of have this thing figured out? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah. You asked about that. Okay, so it's my turn.
it's
About
totally
an
your turn.
eggel.
Yes.
It's totally my turn. Yeah. Pausing the game. My fault. Since we had to purchase beer, and I was buying beer not because for beer that I like, but for a color of a can. What is the worst beer that you've ever had?
Ooh.
That being said, the beers that I actually ended up picking by color turned out really good. Like that purple beer, I had it last night. It was a really nice grapefruit sour. I can't say that I could drink a lot of them, but as a nice summer beer, it was quite good. But what is the
I
worst beer?
I have had some pretty horrible. Uh, I can't stand a really hoppy beer like an IPA, especially as soon as it's like above -5 in temperature. If it's stone cold, I can drink it and somewhat enjoy it. But also you did remind me with your purple can there, just the additives sometimes they put in them. So I've had a maple beer before. I can't. I love maple syrup. Love me some maple syrup.
Yeah.
But most alcoholic beverages who have maple in them use maple extract, and maple extract tastes like shoe polish to me. Um, and they always increase the sweetness, and they put this maple extract in it, and it's just I. I've had one that I could not finish the can because it's just been so bad. And I don't remember the name of it, but there was a maple beer out there
So
that
generally
was.
maple beers. Have you ever had a maple beer that you enjoy?
I have had a maple beer. Actually, there was one locally to us that used to work with the park that made a maple bock beer. So it was like a stout like beer. And they used our real maple syrup,
Okay.
and they're not allowed to partner with us anymore because parks and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Trafalgar Brewery. If you ever see a
That would be
maple
nice.
bock
Yeah, like
beer
a
from
stout would
yeah.
caramelize well with that
Mm-hmm.
flavor, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have
Mhm.
had a good one, but 90% of them are not
Pretty
great.
terrible.
Yeah.
Fair enough. At least to you. Like yeah, again,
Yeah,
these are
yeah.
our
It's
personal
personal
opinions.
opinion. Yeah.
Personal opinions. Well, I got two answers. One, you might have heard both of these. I don't know. The first one, so I grew up in a town called Midland, and Midland has a butter tart festival.
Oh.
And there's a brewery there that made a butter tart beer for the festival. And I will grant you, like, hats off. The beer tasted like a butter tart. I don't want my beer to
to taste
taste
like.
like a butter tart. So
Yeah.
it's one of those ones that, like, my dad bought a bunch of them, and if there was new people around, we'd always you'd crack one open. Here, try this, and everybody would take one sip. And you're like, "Ugh," and then it would get poured out the rest of the way. Um, but although surprisingly, that's not the winner. The worst I ever had. My parents bought me one Christmas going back 10, 15 years now, a sampler pack, and I can't even remember the brewery. And there was a herb beer. And so they used herbs in the brewing of it. And it's not like they were using mint. They were using rosemary and thyme and oregano. And
Uh,
again, the flavors came through, but they were just awful. It was
yeah,
not like, no. Just because you can put something in a beer doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean
you
you
should.
should. Yeah.
So yes, the rosemary beer was my crowning glory of horribleness.
Well, so I grow hops. I don't know what I found hops at my hunt camp, and my dad and uncle didn't want them growing there, so they were ripping them out. So I transplanted them to here and the heritage house where I work. So I have actually quite a few hops growing, and they've grown into very healthy plants and stuff. Kind of fun, um, but don't make beer. And it's like, well, I'm not really interested in making beer and everything. Well, we grow pumpkins in a pumpkin patch. Apparently, you can't grow pumpkins in the same field time and time again. You need to put a cereal crop is what they need to restore the soil. So I went barley. So we may or may not have a field of barley and a big bush of hops. And if somebody's craft brewery doesn't pick this up on me, I'm going to be super mad.
I got some ingredients.
At a
I've even got
heritage
some.
location with the perfect story for you. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if you can even get some, get a little bit of water from Bronny Creek. And
Yeah, right? Come on
oh,
now.
yeah. It would
Yeah.
be beautiful.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll see. We will see.
Oh, do you have anything new to add?
Uh,
Last
nothing.
time we did, like, I threw in like the terminology and threw you off at the end. And
No, no. I don't personally have anything else. I have a random story, but it's
I'll take a random story.
okay. So scrap material. Okay, so our city here in Burlington has a large item pickup, and you put anything out on the curb, and they will pick it up, like anything metal out on the curb, and the scrap guys drive by and throw it in the back of their car. And you can always tell they have the big trailers and everything, right? And I'm like, it means I can never find anything metal that's being thrown out because I mean these guys. I've literally seen somebody walk out, put it at the end of their driveway, my neighbor across the road, and by the time the person has walked to their front door, it's been gone.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's great. I don't get me wrong. I don't not condemning these people at all. I think it's great that this metal is getting recycled and it's going not just going to the landfill and everything. This is great. Okay, and they're earning some money by doing it. So I produce scrap myself, and I have a 5-gallon bucket of scrap, and I weighed it the other day. It's 40 pounds. I was like, oh, well, that's more than any bed frame or anything like that, right? So, and I was like, I wonder if I can find a scrap guy who will come by and pick up my scrap stuff, but then keep me in mind for hammers and tongs and like because you got to find that stuff if you're this is what you do, right?
Yeah.
And I just want first right of refusal on it. I'll pay you, a nominal fee
What you're
for
gonna scrap it for?
yeah or more, like a little
Yeah.
bit more from that. Anyway, the overwhelming response to my 40 pounds of scrap in a bucket is crazy. Like I almost have to turn the ad off because, but nobody wants to play the game of like, oh yeah, I find hammers all the time. I give them to you for $1 a piece or something like that. Which, by the way, would be phenomenal scrap value for them. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll give you $1 or dollar for hammerhead any day. But nobody wants to play that game, and I can't believe that nobody wants to play that game with me. And I'm like, I probably have 2 or 3 of these buckets full a year. And
Yeah.
anyway, I was looking it up. I was like, what? Well, what are they fighting about here? Because they're vultures. They're really like, yeah, I'll come get it. Can I get it today? Can I get it? Like, and you're like, settle down. Don't work from home. I'm like, what are they arguing about here? So I looked up what 40 pounds of scrap is worth.
Okay.
Any guesses? Just assorted steel.
Sort of
Uh,
steel, just scrap,
yeah,
40 pounds, $20.
$7.50. Which if somebody was giving me $7.50, I'm not going to be like no. And if I'm already
Yeah.
going to the scrap yard, $7.50 extra makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I figured if it was like $20 or something like that, then like it. But I'm like, where are you driving from to get this steel and like,
Sure.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that's weird.
anybody
Because yeah,
wants
it
to
doesn't sound like it
establish
would
a
be cost effective.
yeah, anybody's in the area wants to
Mhm.
establish a let's take my
Exactly.
scrap
I
and give
think
me
like, and even a case of like, yeah, you just separate out, and I'll swing by later and pick up the hammers. Right? I'm not
just
expecting
send
you
me
to
a
deliver
picture.
them.
Just send me a
Yeah.
picture and just throw them in a pile. And then when you pick up my stuff, I'll give you $20 and you get my scrap. Come on. And if you ever find like a big anvil shaped, because there's people don't know what your tin plate anvils are, right? They're going to be like, I don't know what this thing is,
Yeah.
some anvil type thing. Um, Whereas people recognize an anvil, like an,
Yeah.
you know, and they go, oh, those are worth money. So they try to sell those online. But all the other stuff, I think they just, you know,
No, that's true.
so I'm
Yeah.
like,
No. Well, you need to get a line on some of those. That'd be awesome. Find somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
make a list. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I might have to turn this ad off and then try again. But I thought I had one guy, and then yeah. Anyway,
No. Well, if you find anybody who's willing to, drop off some copper, I'll take that. All right, sir. So, posting next week, because we're recording this before the 21st, obviously. So we're gonna post on the 21st. Everybody, check out our Brothers in Smithing Instagram or our TikTok, and vote for either the amazing duck flying out of the grass or the cool tree, whichever you like best. So, and ooh, I should say that I've started sneaking up. I'm only two competitions down on you again. So
ooh,
I need to get the try again trophy back to you, since you have to add
I have
something
the little
from.
plaque to add to it. I've made it.
Excellent. Good,
Yeah,
good. So we got to get there. Yeah, it's this whole
it's
idea of like it has to be in all of your videos isn't going to work because we don't see each other enough to pass it back and forth.
unfortunately it's not. But I again, it'll transport, go back and
It
forth, and
will
whatever as we. Yeah,
absolutely go back and forth. So yeah. So vote, and let us know what you think. And if you want to add some comments and say, hey, you should have tried this with your with making your reeds or your cattails, or let's put some invasive phragmites in your in your swamp, in your marsh.
yeah, I could see that comment. Um, yeah, awesome. Um, good luck. See you in the next
All
one.
right, you have a good night.